Welcome back to America on the Road with Chris Teague, Jack Nerad with you, and we're so glad you're with us for road tests. And we've got some hot cars to road test this time around, some really interesting stuff. And well, I was driving a car that was one of the most fascinating vehicles I have driven in a long, long time. It is the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, and we've tested the Ioniq 5 before, the kind of Hyundai's first foray into battery electrics. And this is an electrified sports vehicle. It's the first for Hyundai's N brand, which is, of course, their performance brand. More are apparently to follow, and it's built on the eGMP platform, which is their electric vehicle platform. Kind of makes sense they would use that. This is targeting both Hyundai customers and new buyers. And I'm curious as to who the new buyers are and who the Hyundai customers are for this vehicle as well. I mean, it's interesting to me. The N Motorsports technologies are combined with the e-battery electrics, and it has the N brand's performance pillars, is what they call them. The corner rascal, so it's a real hot cornering vehicle. Racetrack capability. Head scratcher there a little bit. And it's an everyday sports car as well. So those are the things that the N brand is supposed to be. And I would say probably the Ioniq 5N matches all those. They've done things like reinforce the body in 42 different points to enhance the body structure, give a stiffer structure for better handling. And then it has a bunch of electronic stuff that allows it to do things that vehicles typically don't do. It has the N pedal that enhances handling, turn-in behavior, kind of like a World Rally Championship car, but of course electronically. There is the N Drift Optimizer, which I didn't get to try in my driveway. Go figure. I mean, a lot of this stuff, Chris, struck me as, this is cool, but how do I even use this on the street? And I wonder what your reaction to that is.
Yeah, again, as we talked about earlier, people not buying sports cars, I mean, the people that buy this would be the ones that want to be able to do everything. Unfortunately, you end up with this vehicle, and when you do those fun things, you end up taking away from the capability in other areas, in this case, the range. And I also will say that, like my GR Corolla and the Golf R that I had before that, these drift features and the performance features, they're great on paper, but getting the vehicle to actually do those things and do them like a real rear-wheel drive car would do is another story completely. And I don't know if the Ioniq 5N is willing to do those things eagerly, but my GR Corolla is not.
Yeah. Well, it's probably eager, but I don't even know a safe place to do some of this stuff. It's got 641 horsepower. And the 84 kilowatt battery, I guess, is a good battery size, and it has kind of reasonable range, 221 miles of range according to the EPA. But then it has stuff like the N launch control. Like, am I going to do that on the street? I don't think so. And, a lot of this stuff seems to be geared to be on the track, but I'm wondering who is driving electric vehicles on the track. And maybe I'm just out of touch. But this is a kind of a very docile vehicle to drive day to day, which is amazing given all the stuff that it has on it. But you're also paying, $67,000, $68,000 was the MSRP for this vehicle. It looks cool. The interior is cool. There's a lot of N stuff attached to it. And I'm sure this technology is really cool. I just wonder, how can you use it? Or where would you use this in the way that it's meant to be used?
Yeah, it's going to be on a track. And unfortunately for buyers of this vehicle, some tracks you can only do a couple of laps before you have to stop and charge. So I would venture a guess that a lot of these features, like the tech features we just talked about, are going to go unused, at least most of the time.
Yeah, I think this is a vehicle that looks cool, comfortable, like I say, docile in everyday traffic, and yet has enormous performance potential. But I think it's kind of a narrow niche, right? A niche of a niche of a niche.
Yeah, I think the good news here is you get a lot of fast charging. Hyundai's got one of the fastest charging rates in the business, so you could quickly get back some of your range. As you talk about, I love the Ioniq 5 styling, and they did a good job kind of converting that into the performance world. So just have to see who actually.
It is an attention getter. There is no doubt about that. The vehicle I had was kind of bright orange, and there are orange accents throughout the interior as well. It's got a lot of, I guess, surface excitement, you could say, in the exterior design that's beyond the normal Ioniq 5, which is an attention getter enough. So a cool vehicle, I think a niche vehicle, and maybe this is performance going forward. We talked about performance cars of the conventional sort going away. Maybe this is performance going into the next decade, and I'm just too Luddite to see it.
Get on board.